Greetings, this is Expander 12, also known as the Last Keeper of Lore, and in this video I will be going over what we know about the 7 given factions in the world of Chaos Zero Nightmare, but more can still be introduced later. And the 7 given factions are Terraskion, Iron Rain, Selima, Peltion, Stella Familia, the Holy Crusaders, and Wanderers, as well as the sub-factions within all of them. First up to discuss is Terraskion, with the name clearly meaning Terra being Earth, and Skion being Descendant, meaning their name is literally Descendants of Earth. They are humanity's Ark Federation and have several large and densely populated arcs. It is also the home of the SS Nightmare, which we captain. We also know that they have not kept stagnant with their tech and have greatly advanced since their time on Earth. Within Terraskion, we know of 3 sub-factions: the crew of the SS Nightmare, the students, and the SID, or Special Investigations Department. The first sub-faction with 1 confirmed member is the SS Nightmare crew, with someone we are all familiar with, Rinoa. I am the Obsidian Swan, Herald of Misfortune. Do you think you can handle it? Rinoa is the vice captain of the SS Nightmare and also poet of the Black Rose. She is a haughty, proud yet capable elite member of Terraskion's navy, and contrasting her cold demeanor, she is sentimental enough to write poetry as a hobby. She also has a delicate meticulousness that shows when she picks up after the captain. After that, we have the second sub-faction with 4 confirmed members called the Students, with the first up being Mika. I still have homework. Could I have 1 more hour? Mika is a girl who has inherited her love's first dream, but we do not currently know who this first love is. She is an upright and diligent student who studies whenever she has time. But because of her timid nature, not many people have seen this side of her. And despite the fact that she opposes violence, she still does her best to save the world, inheriting the goals of the man she admires. After that is Haru. It's disciplinary committee member, Haru! A girl as bright as the sunshine at the harbor, a naval cadet who attends the academy. Haru is a member of the disciplinary committee, but is loved by many for her gentle personality. She rarely gets angry, but when she does, no one can stop her. She's also quite the big eater and has a serious sweet tooth. Haru's trauma is from failure, where she goes into total rejection slash escapism and acts like she's safe at home rather than the traumatic things she's seen before her. The next one is Owen. I pray everyone returns safely. Owen is trying his best to keep his promise, and even though he was born with a mediocre gift, he became a skilled combatant through tremendous effort and time to protect others, putting him on the same caliber as those who would be deemed a genius. Though he is often seen as gentle and slow-witted, his spear is sharper than anyone else's. Last up we have Ray. But there's no quote this time, sadly. Sadly, I do not have a quote from Ray to say here, but I'm sure you can notice that there is 2 different people that popped up when I mentioned Ray. This is actually because she had a design change at some point during development, going from the brown-haired, long-dressed, very reservedly dressed outfit to the more free-spirited outfit we see now, along with gaining the right gauntlet slash glove that she now wears, as well as her hairpiece changing from a yellow to a nice blackish purple. But we're introduced in detail to our cheery and cookie-loving student with powers over dark matter during the first showcase of Chaos Zero Nightmare, seeing their favorite agent, Taboli. But in case you missed it, she is able to control dark matter she generates via her gauntlet on her right arm and her ring, which you cannot see in the image, on her left pointer finger. This allows her to shape it into bladed weapons, whips, or other shapes to attack and defend at once. She has a slightly eccentric personality and collects unique pins, badges, and keychains that she finds cute. And after that, there's a third named sub-faction called the SID. My, is it my turn now? Yuki is the head of the Special Investigations Department, and with her having such a playful and mischievous personality, many are often surprised when they learn she was the chief position of her entire department. Despite all of that, her skills are undeniable, earning her considerable trust from the higher-ups. It is even said that her sword is too swift for the naked eye to follow. And lastly, with no confirmed sub-faction, we have two named agents such as Adelheid. Those big bad wolves are trying to get me. Leave a trail of pebbles and you'll never get lost. Adelheid is an innocent-looking girl with a love for birds and prepared for cold weather, which seems to not only be taking minor inspiration from that of Little Red Riding Hood, as seen with the big bad wolf, but also that of Hansel and Gretel with leaving a trail of stones, or as they did, breadcrumbs. And she has suffered from being abandoned in the forest in the past. After that, we have Tressa. I'm bad luck. Are you sure about this? It seems like Terraskion is the faction with bad luck, with both Rinoa and Tressa being sources of bad luck. She is a reserved and closed-off person, despite what her outfit might tell you. She also has what appears to be the words Victor on the right sleeve of her jacket, which is either something unique to her or is a reference to her sub-faction that we will need more details later to confirm on. The next faction to discuss is the Iron Rain, which is composed of a coalition of smaller arcs and united by mutual interests. Where their technological progress lags behind that of their other human counterpart alliance, it has led to the unique autonomy, a society akin more to that of militias or mercenaries. And Iron Rain only has two known sub-factions to its name at this point, with the first being Bomb Squadron, led by Anika. Focus only on victory. Anika is a girl who has turned her back on her past, and while she tends to be easygoing with people, her leadership skills are unparalleled, to such a degree where she can quell even the most hot-headed of her bomb squad mates. She always speaks logically, but has an oddly unsettling side underneath her, leading to those with keen instincts to be wary of her. She becomes even more playful around the people that she likes. After that, we have the second faction with 4 known members, being Wolf Platoon, led by none other than Beryl. Responding to your call for assistance. Beryl is a genius commander who desires to become a grown-up. With the exceptional strategic and tactical skills she has inherited from her grandmother, a legendary soldier. Beryl rose to the position of a commander at a very young age. She constantly strives to become an exemplary soldier or a trustworthy captain. However, she often struggles to hide her childlike side, such as her obsession with chocolate bars or her tendency to resort to force when things get too complicated. Her known trauma is covered in webcomic. Mirabelle. When I hug my friends, they tend to fall asleep right then and there. Mirabelle is an embracing shield. Although she almost always wears an absent-minded expression, she's clear about her likes and dislikes, and utilizes everything at her disposal if the situation involves her friends. She enjoys taking care of others and usually starts things off with a hug when she sees anyone who is struggling. Luke. Analyze every situation and you can win any battle. Luke is a cool-headed tactician. He's the younger twin brother of Lucas. He can be rather curt and serious, but underneath his cold exterior is a kind and caring heart. Though he gives off the impression of being uninterested in others due to his stoic demeanor, he quietly pays attention to those around him and offers timely words of advice. He takes his failures very personally, leading leading any mistakes he has to be something he always carries with him, especially if someone gets hurt as a result. After that, we have his brother, Lucas. True victory isn't decided until the very last moment. Lucas is a fired-up adventurer and Luke's older twin brother. Originally, Lucas's hair had a darker tone like that of Luke's, but he chooses to dye it red. Unlike Luke, he is cheerful and cheeky. He is oddly popular with women, but it is probably thanks to the kindness he reserves exclusively for them. Lucas is a bit more obscure, as he takes a more casual approach when things get tense. But if it gets too much for him, he denies reality and treats it like some kind of joke. Next up is the Selima faction, which is an ancient race with distinctive dragon horns. Each individual is said to wield a level of power and technology compared to entire civilizations. But they remain divided along family lines and have not managed to coalesce into a unified state. And since each member is contained within their own sub-faction, there's no need to go into it before each agent, and so I will go into it here. There is the houses with Enos and Tetra, with Serathea and Priscilla, respectively. Solia is a god of a planet with her faction currently unnamed, and Aishlin is currently the only one with an unknown faction. Then we have Serathea. I am Serathea, of the renowned Enos. Hey, listen to me when I'm speaking. Serathea is a girl who longs for nobility. Being a stickler for affection, she tries to compensate for a lack of self-esteem by pretending to be a noble lady so that she can be loved by many. She has taught herself noble customs through music, though it remains imperfect. And many do not know this, but she is genuinely putting in quite a substantial effort to become a true noble lady. Aishlin's after that. You desire me? Well, I prefer those who beg a little more. Aishlin, the genius full of ambition, a go-getter who will achieve anything she desires by any means necessary. She has surpassed her limits through ambition, tenacity, and cleverness. And although she is arrogant and greedy, her talent, combined with her powerful grit, makes it undeniable that she is truly outstanding, despite her flawed personality. Solia. If you wish to serve, first prove yourself to me. Solia is a transcendental being who's fallen in love with a mortal. Solia is a transcendental being who had fallen in love with a mortal. As the founder of a civilization, Solia is revered as a deity by her people. But she has trouble empathizing with others and often makes mistakes. She has her own way of showing goodwill to those she cares about. And once she falls in love, she shows a level of self-sacrifice that no one else can understand. Recently, she's been stuck in a haze ever since she lost the human she had loved. Priscilla. The entire universe is destined to grovel beneath my feet. Head of the Tetra family, after the early death of the Tetra family's former head, Priscilla ascended to the throne as the next in line at a very young age. To suppress factions that underestimated her due to her age, she maintained her position by ruthlessly eliminating those who opposed her, earning a reputation as a tyrant. Furthermore, she harbored the ambition to bring the entire universe beneath her authority. Wait, Lilius, is that you? After Selima is Peltion, which is an alien race living under the rule of megacorporations. Their whole society is marked by intense competition, and due to their obsession with efficiency, they have no qualms with replacing the parts of their bodies with that of machines. We also know of 3 sub-factions within that of Peltion, with the first being the Umishiro family with Chizuru. Within the shadow, revenge whispers in my ears. The dark side of the moon, forever in shadows. Successor of the Moon Shadow Sword and next in line to lead the Umishiro family. Although she is graceful and dignified, she often makes self-deprecating remarks, and she is driven by a deep-rooted sense of inferiority. So she puts her all into any and all challenges. The next sub-faction is the Kaguya Pharmaceuticals, and where there's no confirmed members, based on what we know about them, it makes sense that these 2 characters are within, or at least connected to the sub-faction, with the first agent being Euphina. Euphina, reporting back for duty. A biological weapon, experiencing job insecurity. And while she may be a biological weapon, there is nothing Euphina won't do to get in the good graces of the company she works for. She tends to get obsessive about performance and results because of this. And despite her cute and innocent voice, her brutal words can blow you away, but she rarely ever means what she says. Narja. I'm trying to find someone, but it's possible that I never will. An enhanced test subject of the Peltion, also known as NA01. During her time as a test subject, she named herself Narja. Born to the life of an experimental subject, she suffers from a deep-seated exhaustion and disillusionment with life. After escaping the lab that created her, she roams the universe in search of Gaia, the one who gave her reason to live. And the third faction is Company 110, with the only known member being Alexia. Yes, I am Alexia, the sixth masterpiece of Company 110. A planet-cutting cyborg, and despite her soft and kind manner of speaking, she lacks human emotions. As a result of this, she tries to resolve situations through force or strict procedures. Occasionally, she seems to recall vague memories, though she doesn't understand why. Lastly, the unplaced agent is the gambler himself, Cassius. The world is but a gigantic hoax. That is the one true constant. A magician who desires to deceive the world. Once the director of a major corporation within Peltion, Cassius is now a completely different person after experiencing death. Now, he gleefully proclaims, the world is a gigantic hoax. As a genuine truth seeker, he doesn't shy away from outright buffoonery, but be careful, or you might fall for his magic tricks before you even realize it. And the last faction accessible through the site is the Stella Familia. An alien race with animal-like appearances, wanderlust runs in their blood, and they travel from star to star in search of adventure. They all have a unique tradition of forming familias, where individuals come together to act as a family regardless of any actual blood relations or ties. There's 2 known subfactions, with the majority of the known Stellas currently not placed in either subfaction. The first one shares the namesake with its only known member, Hugo's Solutions, with Hugo. I'm Hugo of Hugo Solutions, located aboard the caravan. Do you have a job for me? He is a fixer of the Azure Merchant Guild. He is known to be an extremely persistent and driven person when on missions, but as a result of this, he now suffers from a shortage of requests. The other subfaction within the Stellas is the White Altair, led by Calliope. Like a white eagle traversing space, wings wide open. She's the charismatic and steadfast commander of the White Altair. She tries to always stand at the forefront and protect her crew, but she often finds herself having to clean up the mess caused by her free-spirited and active crew members, resulting in her being racked by overwork from time to time. A cute little detail is she enjoys drinking coffee from her old mug, and probably ends up drinking from it often because of what she ends up having to do. And then there is the Unplaced, with Veronica. The villainous black speaker, we're scary! A rabbit mouse experiencing an identity crisis. She's a girl who dreams of becoming a villain, but ends up spending her time being altruistic. And believes herself to be a mouse, but she is, in fact, a rabbit. She always follows those she admires, calling them by the name of Boss. To become the greatest villain in history, she treats everyone with kindness. A rather counterproductive approach to becoming a villain. Then we have Magna. Yeah, adventures are the best. So, you want to go on an adventure with me? Magna is a romance-chasing adventurer. She is bright, energetic, and always in pursuit of fun and exciting things to do. She values the journey of adventure much more than its rewards at the end. But any trinket she finds on an adventure is her delightful treasure, no matter how small its value truly may be. And then we have Carl. I hope you're worth my loyalty. A loyal and faithful wolf, taciturn and composed. He is known to show no mercy when brought to anger, especially when the honor of his affiliation is on the line. His loyalty to his bosses is almost excessive, sometimes leading to trouble when he reads too much into their orders. Then we have Sarah. Ooh, wait, can't we proceed more slowly? Sarah is a rather timid archer, likely based on some antlered animal in the colder climates, based on her thick jacket and bright orange highlights to be seen in the snow. We also know that she is trying to be more confident, but when stressed, she snaps back to be even more timid and tries to force those around her to leave. Then we have Selena. The second rabbit in Stella is Selena. We know very little about her outside of her name through translating from a previous gameplay trailer. After Stella is one of the two factions not on the site. The Holy Crusaders. They're a faction centered around fighting back the forces of chaos and purifying worlds from chaos contamination. But we do not know much else about this religious order outside of their hatred for the cult of chaos and chaos itself. I am sure we will learn more as we get closer to launch. With one sub-faction known as the Inquisition. Or at least, that's what I'm calling it. With Orlia. Okay. Let's finish this quick so I can go back to sleep. A high priestess with the power to see the future, and part of the forest sent out to purify chaos blooms, oftentimes being so good at it that she can purify them all by herself. But after one mission where she warned the priests that if they went on the mission, they would all end up dying. But the priests did not heed her warnings, and when things went exactly as she foresaw, she was blamed not only by the dying priests, but also the families of the ones who had died, and all the praise she had formerly received had been turned into harsh criticism. And when Orlia suffers a mental breakdown, she drops her mask, abandoning all hope and faith. We also have a person which we've seen quite often, but know nothing about. It is the angel which we can see red lilies growing out of in several of the trailers. The last faction we know of, the Wanderers, which is a faction composed of outsiders and displaced people who do not belong to any of the other 6 factions. Agents with a great degree of mystery on their past and what their motives are for supporting the Protoss are as varied as their personalities. We have one sub-faction known as, which contains Rin. She is a lone sword fighter with an obsession with love and a stunted childhood focused solely on the sword. She also desires to be normal despite her great gift scenes and being so far out of the ordinary. And we can see her trauma on her webcomic as seen here. Then we have Bria and Kayron's faction. Name on hold. So we know that Kayron is a powerful agent born within the chaos, with powers over the abyss. He is the king of nihilism himself, who's only kept to the degree we see him because of Bria, his assistant Bria taking care of him. He keeps consistent with his signature twisted arm, this time taking on a mechanical twist, as his whole right arm up to the shoulder being a cybernetic replacement powered by his mastery over the abyss powers. Outside of Bria being the assistant of Kayron, we know very little about her. And lastly, we have all the characters who are currently unknown what faction or what their name is. And with that last part, I have finished going over the known combatants and partners in the game. Take care, Protoss, and until 0 turns to 1, I will keep you informed on the lore and story. Keep her out.